Akil was a Jawa Jedi. Yes, you heard that right. It sounds like something straight out of a wild fan theory, but he actually existed. Jawas were infamous for scavenging the deserts of Tatooine, riding across the dunes in their massive sand crawlers, stripping down crashed ships for anything they could trade or sell. The thought of one of them wielding a lightsaber instead of a wrench? Unbelievable. Yet Akil broke every expectation. During the Clone Wars, this tiny scrap trader rose to the rank of Jedi Knight after following the path of a consular. And honestly, that made sense. Imagine a Jawa Jedi Guardian charging into battle, lightsaber flailing. It'd be both terrifying and hilarious. Akil was later chosen alongside a Kel Dor Guardian named Krenibus to represent the Jedi Academy at the Dora event, a gathering meant to inspire potential students. The Jedi Council picked them because their views clashed. One a warrior, the other a diplomat, hoping their partnership would show that the Order wasn't some hive mind that always agreed on everything. At the event, the two debated all sorts of topics, from the strange cult of Sith followers to the wonders of the galaxy. Krenibus argued the cult should be crushed by force, while Akil urged patience, saying the Jedi shouldn't act until they truly understood the threat. Their exchange perfectly showed the Order's inner diversity. Despite speaking perfect basic, Akil constantly had to deal with people yelling "Utini" at him for fun. It was a harmless Jawa greeting to most, but to him, it was just plain annoying. Born somewhere in the Outer Rim, Sharad was handed to the Jedi Order as a baby, his proud parents believing he was destined for greatness. Raised in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, he eventually became the Padawan of Master Eth Koth. Their bond was unusually strong, and Koth even allowed Sharad to visit his family, something rarely permitted for young Jedi. Sharad quickly proved himself an exceptional warrior. After becoming a knight, he earned a reputation that rivaled even his masters. He collected legendary titles wherever he went: Howl Runner, Champion of Kremar, Defender of Comparis, and even Tamare of Tyrants. He grew close with Qui-Gon Jinn, calling him an old rascal, and became one of the most celebrated Jedi Guardians of his era. But fame came with a cost. The constant praise began to wear him down, clashing with the Jedi teachings of humility. Sharad longed to see his family again, and that yearning only deepened as years passed. When he returned home, what he found shattered him. His planet was ravaged by war, cities in ruins, millions dead, his family among them. Grief consumed him. Abandoning the Republic entirely, he fled to the desolate sands of Tatooine, where he found refuge among the Tusken Raiders. For a while, he found peace, but that calm didn't last. Jabba the Hutt manipulated tensions between the local settlers and the Tusken tribes, igniting a brutal conflict. Reluctantly, Sharad led the Tuskens to defend their territory, trying to minimize casualties on both sides. Soon, stories of a lightsaber-wielding Tusken warrior spread across the galaxy, stories that reached the Jedi Council itself. Ki-Adi-Mundi was sent to investigate. When he found Sharad, he revealed shocking news. The Sith had returned, and Qui-Gon Jinn was dead. Though the loss hit Sharad hard, he refused to abandon the Tuskens. His life as a Jedi was over, and his new duty lay with his adopted people. But fate had other plans. The bounty hunter Aurra Sing, once a Jedi trainee herself, was hired by Jabba to end the conflict. She led a surprise attack on the Tusken camp, forcing Sharad to confront her. The duel was fierce, but Aurra gained the upper hand, striking him down. As he lay dying, Sharad made Ki-Adi-Mundi promise to train his son as a Jedi. Mundi agreed, and with quiet pride, Sharad passed away. Not as a hero of the Republic, but as a father who had found peace in knowing his son's future was secure. The Tals were a primitive, four-eyed species covered in thick white fur, native to icy worlds like Alzok III and Orto Plutonia. Most lived in isolation, barely interacting with the rest of the galaxy. Many saw them as simple creatures, until one Tals shattered that stereotype: Foul Mudama. Identified as Force-sensitive at a young age, Mudama was taken to the Jedi Temple and trained as a Padawan. Despite his species' reclusive nature, he adapted quickly, constructing a blue lightsaber and rising through the ranks to become a Jedi Knight. Calm, disciplined, and deeply connected to the living force, he embodied the ideals of the Order. During the Clone Wars, Mudama served as a general and earned the respect of those under his command. By the war's later years, he had even achieved the title of Jedi Master. His serene presence and loyalty to the Republic made him a trusted guardian when the Chancellor himself came under threat. When General Grievous launched his infamous assault on Coruscant, Mudama was among the few Jedi tasked with protecting Chancellor Palpatine. Alongside Shaktai, Roran Karab, and others, he escorted the Chancellor through the chaos of the city, battling Magna Guards and droids at every turn. Mudama fought valiantly, even carrying the Chancellor in one arm while deflecting attacks with the other. But Grievous was relentless. In a desperate last stand, Mudama and Karab faced the droid general head-on. Both Jedi fell in the battle, and the Chancellor was taken, setting in motion the tragedy that would soon unravel the entire galaxy. Beldorian was unlike any other Hutt in history, the only one ever known to join the Jedi Order. Around 400 BBY, Jedi scouts discovered him and brought him to the temple, where he underwent the same rigorous training as as any other initiate. Despite his species' reputation for greed and corruption, Beldorian showed remarkable control and promise in the ways of the Force. After years of study, he was chosen as a Padawan and eventually passed the trials to become a Jedi Knight. But his story took a darker turn. On a mission to the planet Nam Chorios with fellow Jedi Knight Tesselda, both failed their objective and fell to the dark side. Beldorian turned on his ally, declaring her weak, and seized control of the planet. He crowned himself ruler, adopting grand titles like Beldorian of the Ruby Eyes and Beldorian the Splendid. His reign quickly turned tyrannical. He enslaved the population, ruling through fear and indulgence. At some point, he encountered a parasitic creature named Zim and struck a sinister bargain. In exchange for access to Nam Chorios' rare mineral, Sailstone, Zim would channel dark side energy to preserve Beldorian's strength and youth. It worked. He remained alive and powerful for centuries, surviving the Clone Wars, the Jedi Purge, and even the rise and fall of the Empire. But his empire finally met its end in 13 ABY, when Jedi Callista Ming arrived on the planet and was taken prisoner. Leia Organa Solo came to investigate and confronted the ancient Hutt in a lightsaber duel that defied belief. Despite his age, Beldorian was a formidable opponent, his immense body strengthened by the dark side and capable of summoning force storms. Yet Leia's agility won the day. She outmaneuvered the corrupted Hutt and struck him through the chest, ending the reign of the only Hutt Jedi the galaxy had ever known. At first glance, Ikrit looked more like a pet than a Jedi Master, a tiny creature resembling a cross between a cat, a rabbit, and a gremlin. But this unassuming being from Kushiba was far more powerful than he appeared. When Master Yoda visited Kushiba seeking a new Padawan, Ikrit was eager to help the small green stranger however he could, but he was shocked when Yoda revealed that he was the one chosen for Jedi training. No one of his species had ever joined the Order, and Ikrit could hardly believe it. Yet, realizing what an honor it was, he accepted his destiny and left with Yoda. Ikrit proved to be a gifted student and eventually became a Jedi Knight. But one day, after a heated disagreement, he nearly killed a fellow Jedi in anger, an act that horrified him. Yoda intervened just in time, and from that day on, Ikrit swore never to wield a lightsaber again. Instead, he would rely solely on the Force. His wisdom and restraint later earned him the title of Jedi Master. Years later, Ikrit discovered an ancient Massassi temple on Yavin 4 containing the trapped souls of Massassi children. Despite all his efforts, he couldn't free them. Devastated, he chose to remain at the temple, entering a self-imposed exile and a Jedi hibernation trance. He slept for nearly 400 years, missing the rise and fall of both the Republic and the Empire. Centuries later, he was awakened by a young Anakin, who at first mistook him for a harmless creature. But once Ikrit revealed his true identity, he joined forces with Anakin and Tahiri Vela to unravel the mystery of the Golden Globe. Together, they succeeded where he once failed, finally freeing the trapped souls. After centuries of silence, Ikrit returned to the Jedi Order, becoming a mentor to Anakin and Tahiri Sewa. During the Yuuzhan Vong War, he made the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life to ensure their escape. A quiet, noble end for one of the smallest yet bravest Jedi in history. Ewoks aren't exactly known for their Force sensitivity. Most see them as adorable forest dwellers, far removed from the mysticism of the Jedi. But deep in the records of galactic history, there's mention of an unnamed Ewok Jedi who defied every expectation. After the fall of the Empire, this mysterious warrior appeared, clad in full Jedi robes and wielding a blue lightsaber. He defended his tribe on Endor from a group of senescents who tried to kidnap his fellow Ewoks, cutting them down with skill that shocked even the invaders. His only recorded appearance comes from Geonosis and the Outer Rim worlds, but his story leaves behind a fascinating question. If an Ewok could master the Force, how many other unlikely Jedi might still be out there waiting to be discovered? Ugnaughts are best known as engineers and mechanics, small but clever workers found in factories and starship hangars. But one of them rose far beyond those humble roots. His name was Tree Tower, and by the time of the Clone Wars, he was not only a Jedi Master, but also a decorated general in the Grand Army of the Republic. Elderly but wise, with a white topknot and calm demeanor, Tree Tower led countless missions to protect the innocent. During the war, he learned that a group of Ugnaughts was being trafficked by the Trade Federation to serve as slave labor for the Confederacy. Without hesitation, he volunteered to handle the rescue alone. Landing on a small platform above the gas giant Yorn Scott, he was immediately ambushed by two spider droids. He managed to trigger a distress signal before being struck unconscious and left hanging by his robes beneath the platform. The signal reached a nearby Republic Star Destroyer, and the elite clone commando unit known as Hope Squad was dispatched to save him. They destroyed the spider droids and descended to retrieve the Jedi Master, but were suddenly ambushed by separatist jump droids. The firefight was brutal. 3 commandos fell before the last surviving trooper managed to defeat the droids and catch Tree Tower mid-fall after his robe tore loose. Revived, the Ugnaught steadied himself and wasted no time. Together, he he and the surviving clone breached a sealed hatch, discovering the imprisoned Ugnaught slaves. Despite the heavy losses, their mission was a success. Tree Tower's bravery not only freed his people, but reminded the galaxy that courage and wisdom aren't measured by size. The galaxy is full of surprises, and the Jedi Order's history proves that the Force can flow through anyone, no matter how unlikely their species might seem. From blob-like scholars to ancient Kamino and Eguils, each of these Jedi reminds us just how vast and strange the Star Wars universe really is. If you want more stories like these, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next deep dive into the galaxy's hidden corners.